Hello everyone, welcome back to Just the Tips, my Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous tips series. So here we're going to be talking about the Minagho boss fight, which is the boss of Act 1 in the Grey Garrison. And it's going to be a pretty short video today because this fight is very RNG dependent, so it's not going to be a step-by-step guide. It's just going to be talking about things that you can do to increase your chance of actually downing her on unfair difficulty. So you can see here, the first thing that I do, the most important spell that you have in your arsenal here is absolutely Grease. Minagho herself is a nasty piece of work. She casts some disgusting spells, chain CC you. You definitely don't want her chain casting while you're attacking her and having to take care of all these demons on the side. So one thing to note is you do come into this fight mega buffed. You come in, besides the buff, so you cast your buffs before you interact with the stone here. So any buffs that you cast before you interact with the stone will carry through to the encounter. So make sure if you have one tank, just buff them up fully before you even, the second you enter this room, just buff up at the entrance, then go interact with the stone and then start the fight, and all those buffs will persist and all your spells will also refresh. So you get a full refresh on all your free refresh and you keep all your buffs, which is like win-win. And in addition to that, you get another buff from interacting with the stone. It's an extremely powerful buff, right? You can see me just destroying Burmarax and all these other demons that have been giving me trouble just in like 1 or 2 hits. So it's a really powerful buff here. But in spite of that, between the Vrock and Minagho, the CC that they throw out is just disgusting. So you definitely want to down Minagho, and to do that, you need Grease. The problem with Grease here is that because of the buff, the DC on it is ridiculous. So you have to cast it in such a way that it just clips her. You can, if you rewind, you can see where I cast the Grease. It was right behind her in such a way that if I walked right up to her, I wouldn't be affected by it. And it basically keeps her down for the whole fight. Now, the kind of bad side effect of that is if you happen to step onto that Grease, you will not be getting up for the remainder of the fight. So definitely make sure you do not stand on the Grease once you've dropped it. So the fight is in 2 phases here. You can see this is a second phase here with all these red glowing demons, the rage-filled demons. You can't kill these. On unfair, they're essentially unkillable, and they will destroy your whole party in seconds, within seconds of them spawning. So you have to kill her before they destroy your party, right? You're on a very tight timer once they spawn. 3 ways to transition to the second phase. 1, if you just take too long, transition to the second phase. 2, if you do too much damage to Minagho, if she goes below 50-ish%, transition to the second phase. And 3, if you kill all the demons that spawn in phase 1, then it automatically transitions to the second phase as well. So just be aware of all 3 of those and make sure you don't transition when you don't want to. Ideally, you want to transition at the 50% health mark, right? You don't want her at 100% health with all the demons down. You don't want her at like 70% health and you took too long. You want her to be below 50% and you want to transition that way because you're entirely dependent on taking her down within seconds of the second phase spawning. So manage your initiative as well, right? So here I only had Woljif at the top of the initiative queue. He was the only one who could damage her once I entered turn-based mode. If he had not gotten that killing blow there, the entire cohort of demons would have had their turns, and that would have been the end of my entire party there. So you can manage it by preventing people from attacking, things like that, to make sure that you have multiple characters ready to go when she transitions. But beyond those tips, right, that's basically it. That's really all you can do. So all I can say is good luck with this fight. I don't think it's the worst fight in the Grey Garrison. The worst fight for me was definitely the 2 Burmarax fight. This was a pretty close second, but really I was expecting it to be a lot worse than this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.